Hello and welcome back to Our Life, Beginnings and Always, the Derek DLC, Chapter 4. We're moving on towards Father's Day, aren't we? Father's Day is in a few days, a week or so, and this is going to be the Father's Day episode of this. We're finally here at the Suarez household to have Father's Day with Gregorio and Cliff Holden. I wonder if that's only because I, expressed earlier in the game that he was like my dad. Like, you grow through this whole thing. You could just not do that, right? You could just be bitter about Cove and his dad the whole time. Anyway, I'm be eating a little bit, so it'll be a little bit of me chewing and eating for a minute, but, Nicholas let you right in with his house key. As he swung the door open, he announced the group's arrival with a grand cheer. We're back! Welcome home. His mother and father returned the call with a familiar greeting of their own. They'd been taking it easy on the couch with the TV, but it was promptly shut off with a click of the remote. Their children were entertainment enough. You, Derek, and Jorge stood around the front of the living room. Suarez, child number 3, skipped ahead, going all the way to the back of the couch. Nicholas draped himself over his dad's shoulders and snuggled up to him from behind. Happy Father's Day. Mr. Suarez reached up to clasp Nico's arm warmly.
Wonderful.
Thank you, my wonderful son. The well wishes were echoed by the two older brothers in unison. Happy Father's Day, Dad. Thank you as well. Happy Daddy Day. Happy Father's Day. Hello, thanks for letting me come. Nah, happy Father's Day, Mr. Suarez. It felt totally natural to join in on the merrymaking yourself. The content smile on Mr. Suarez's face confirmed that. Thank you very much. The man of the hour struggled to get off the cushion with a heavy cape still hanging over him, but lifting Nicholas along with him, Mr. Suarez managed to get to his feet. Nicholas can't be that heavy, right? And he's a big guy. In order to keep clinging to his parent, Nicholas had to stretch his chest over the seats of the couch to lean on his tiptoes. That was all well and good with Mr. Suarez. He opened his arms wide to invite even more hangers on to join, the incredibly inconvenient position he was no hold up for his children. Derek and Jorge shuffled in between the coffee table and their dad, carefully rearranging themselves around each other and Nico. I'm sure there'll be better pictures than this, but it also invites my friend to make Jamaican patois explanations of the scenes if I make nice scenes like that. The group came together like pieces of a puzzle, only being able to attach it to specific, perfectly aligned slots. You joined in on the group hug. You waited to hug him after his No, you joined in on the group hug. You had to make some mental calculations of the angles and trajectories before attempting a move. There was a single path that had worked, and you took it, squeezing just barely in between Derek and Jorge. The airtight embrace shook with rumbling laughter. Mrs. Suarez had a front row seat to the love fest. She couldn't possibly move from her spot on the couch with her two largest sons blocking the way. Their mom sat tight and even managed to squeeze in one hand up her husband's lower back. All the love in the world being poured over Mr. Suarez had him flushed with pride. He spoke to his lovely family with as much affection for them as they had for him.
What a day.
I'm so grateful to have you all here. So it's so weird that didn't sound happy at all. That sounded bad. It sounded like he was upset. But it's the whole idea, right? I never celebrated Father's Day much in this, especially not in this capacity.
It's no problem.
Glad to be here. Yeah, glad to be here. Nico chirped a self-aware mimic of his big brother. What they said. Me fourth. What they said times 2. What? Me fourth. That comment was the cherry on the silly sundae. The brothers snickered along with you. The bonding moment came to a sudden and abrupt end as Nico's grip finally slipped off his dad's neck. He collapsed like a broken bridge and swung his face forward into the back of the couch. With a puffy gasp, his long hair spilled over everywhere.
Oops.
Are you fine, Nicholas? Who asks, are you fine? Wouldn't you ask, are you okay? Or are you good? Are you fine? That's such a weird thing to say. Mr. Suarez craned his hand over his shoulder to peer down at where his youngest child landed. Still flat against a pillow, Nicholas stuck a thumb into the air. That drew out snickers from the whole crowd, but it was mutually agreed that giving each other some space was the best. The Suarez men shimmied one after another past the furniture into the dining area. The last one in the pack was Nicholas, who finally pulled himself upright. The missus of the family left the couch behind as well. It was a full migration to the open area of the living room. The flow of conversation continued from there. This is like the complete opposite of our household, where everybody's a woman, right? Mrs. Suarez is outnumbered 4-1 here, man.
You doing okay?
How's your day been? Derek clapped a hand on his father's shoulder. What were you up to while we were out? I'm making sure my recording is working perfectly, because I had that one that really made me mad. With great excitement, Mr. Suarez answered the question. I took a nap. That's cool, Dad. It is. I hope the 4 of you had a pleasant afternoon as well.
Mm-hmm.
We had fun. It was a wonderful time for both old and new locales. Jorge and Derek both nodded, not needing to add more than that.
That's what I like to hear.
More current experiences were shared, funny anecdotes were told, stories seen lately were recounted. That was until a bold set of knocks startled everyone to attention. Shock rapidly sparked into joy. My friend is here! With that cheer, Mr. Suarez hot-footed it to the door. He got dibs on the first greetings this arrival by default. It was his day after all. And just as he thought Mr. Holden had arrived, he stood in the doorway with a party-sized grocery store fruit platter in hand. Of course he did. Of course he did. If he had more time to arrange an order, you were certain it would have been a fruit bouquet instead. Oh, Cliff.
Good evening.
Welcome, please come in. It's nice to see them in the same room together. Don't mind if I do. This is for you. Mr. Holden placed the plate of delicately arranged fruit slices into his friend's hand as he passed through. And to everyone else, I figured I should contribute something. How kind. The two strolled further into the space. Mr. Holden stopped in front of the group. Mr. Suarez continued on to the kitchen to set the food down in its proper place. Hanging back, he waved. He went towards Mr. Holden and gave him a hug. You ran to the front and flung yourself against him. Approaching Mr. Holden, you patted his arm. Separating from the rest of the group, he welcomed your former neighbor with a warm embrace. He held you back delightedly. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to my father. Happy Father's Day, Dad. So glad you were able to make it. Thanks for coming. I don't know if she talks like this. I don't remember, honestly. I think we decided that she views him that way, but I don't know that she would say that. I think we're just going to say Happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
Oh, hang on.
Thank you.
Mr. Holden's grip naturally shifted into a partial hold around your shoulders, keeping you close while still freeing himself to greet the others. Then he cast his gaze over the Suarez family and addressed them good-naturedly. That's one thing. Sorry, I had to swallow all that. And I'm dumb. I'm eating a sandwich. I'm done now, though. That's one thing about this game that is interesting to me. Is some of the stuff that comes back, even in this DLC, is choices I made way back in the early part of the game that they planned out to have these far-reaching effects. Hey everyone, we made it. Thanks again for the invite. Of course, it's good to see you, Cliff. Now it is a party. The two men shook hands firmly, a friendly greeting between the two longtime business parents. Business parents. Jorge raised an eyebrow in confusion.
Huh?
We? Me and phone, and by that I mean me and my son who's gonna call. It should be any minute now. Oh, this is how we get Cove in on this. He's gonna call in. Oh, so we get to see the boy after all. We get to see the boy, but we also get to see the boy in like a weird context. Yeah. Any minute, Cove would be calling in any minute. It felt like an eternity since you'd last heard his voice. Yeah, me too. We haven't seen Cove in, like, forever, man. This is our one chance to see Cove, I guess. True, there were a few people you'd spent more time with in your life than Cove Holden. Yet there could never be too much of that. The sooner that phone rang, the better. So, like, you could have, like, you know, your moms and Lizzie on that list.
Do you mind?
Would you mind if I put him on speaker? He can join the celebration. That would be wonderful. Fantastic. How have all you kids, or rather mature grown-ups, been? Arguably the most mature of the grown-ups, Reference spoke up with his arms crossed casually. It's been good. Thank you for asking, sir. That was a blast from the past. It must have been several years since Derek last called Mr. Holden Sir. You let out a snort and Sir Holden gave a lopsided grin. He hadn't expected the title either. Honestly, you seem like more of a sir than I do at this point.
What?
Derek was left speechless. A half word was the most articulate response he could muster. It went over much easier with the rest of the family. Like, Derek just can't win lately. We're getting the door before him, and now he's getting out, like, polited by Cliff.
That's true.
Cliff is not a sir. Derek perhaps is. Exactly. Yeah, I would never think of Cliff Holden as sir. He's Cliff. He's like a surfer dude. He's an aging surfer. Mr. Holden gave you one more affectionate squeeze before letting his hand drop back to his side. It was then that there was one final arrival of sorts. It came in the form of the gentle strumming of a guitar, a customized ringtone. Ah, that's Cove. The soothing music was contrasted greatly by the absolute panic it stirred up in Mr. Holden. He fished his phone out of his pocket, nearly dropping it in the process, and hit the answer button. It was moments like that where you could see most clearly how the man in front of you had fathered his son.
Hey!
Sport! Yeah, I'm with the Suarez family. It's their place. Hold up, I'm gonna put you on speaker. Mr. Holden took a phone off his ear and tapped the screen once again. There was a moment of silence. Then a soft, tepid, disembodied voice came through the device from miles away. It was the one you could recognize anywhere. Hi. Hey, it's Stage 4 Cove. He has contact lenses now. Wow, we've got short hair contact lenses, Cove. Huh. Didn't see that one coming. Yeah, this is a very different Cove than I remember him looking like in Stage 3 for us. Huh. Hi, we can hear you. Hello, Cove Holden. Hey, Cove. The entire Suarez family spoke up in good cheer to welcome their guests and their friend. Oh, great. Hey. Oh, great. Hey. Yeah, let's get the boy in here. A fuzzy breath came through on reply. He was relieved at the warm reception. Cove couldn't help being a little awkward joining a party even when he was not physically present in the room. Cove, it's me. I'm also here. I missed you, Cove Holden! Finally, it's my buddy. I missed you! That one. All trace of nerves and hesitation in Cove fizzled into nothing under the powerful rays of his own self-created sunshine. I like this one better. If I'm gonna include this one with... I think I wanna... Yeah. Hey, Marina, thanks for keeping my dad company. They're a great kid. I think so too. His words were soft as pure as afternoon clouds. So happy Father's Day to both of you. Thanks, it's a happy Father's Day. It took a minute, but Mr. Holden eventually remembered that you don't have to hold the phone when it's on speaker. He placed it down on the counter for safekeeping and also to give others more room to gather around. With a clear clap of her hands, Mrs. Suarez called the group to attention. Her eyes were squinted up from her smile-raised cheek. Mrs. Suarez is hard to say. Mrs. Suarez. It's one of the hardest names to say. Irene. Her name is Irene. That's her name. Yeah, I was reminded of that. Also, she looks way too young. She's supposed to be, I think, in her late 40s here is what I was reading. It's way too old. Way too young looking here. Before it gets any later, how about we give Dad his gifts? Mr. Suarez had distracted himself with the fruit platter, but Mr. Holden provided, but the promise of new presents drew him back into the main space of the room.
Yes.
I'd like my gifts now. Let's do it. I'll be right back. I hid my gift in Nico's room.
Oh, yeah.
We can wait. But not long. That was tacked on that was tacked on to Derek's statement as good-humoredly, though not entirely as a joke. He doesn't make enough dad jokes. I feel like this man should be like a dad joke champion, right?
Don't worry.
I got it. Doing this many different male voices is actually harder than doing a bunch of girl voices for me, which is weird. Jorge flippantly gestured a hand over his shoulder, dismissing his dad's impatience, but the speed he walked at was brisker than a normal indoor pace. Derek's hand automatically came to rest over his pocket. He patted the boxing card safely tucked inside. The sight spurred you into double-checking your own stuff. All was well and ready to go. Why Jorge had to stick the gift inside someone else's bedroom became all too obvious when you entered the hall. Two free-form bouquets of beautiful flowers were splittering over the hands grasped around them. Of course he did. Ooh! It was a fitting choice. His thrilled smile bloomed on one of the recipients' faces. The middle Suarez son twisted his arms closer to himself, a few petals brushed against his cheek. Sorry, I couldn't get this into a bag, so here it is. There's enough for Dad and Mr. Holden.
Are you sure?
Me too? Yeah, you too. Mr. Holden was truly flabbergasted. There was no deep personal connection between him and Jorge. He was Mr. Suarez's friend and merely an acquaintance of Junior's. Splitting the yeah, but your friend's kids tend to give you. I mean, that's normal. If your guy's your business partner, you're fairly. His family probably views you as a part of their life, you know. Especially when Cliff is like a single dad, doesn't really have, you know. Now his son's gone, so he's an empty nester. It's really weird, you know. Splitting the gift to share was far more consideration than Mr. Holden could have foreseen. He obviously didn't know Jorge. His problem-solving and thoughtfulness didn't surprise you at all. He's a very emotional human being. I love the color of his eyes, too. He has some of the prettiest eyes of anybody in the entire game. I think Lee has pretty eyes, if I remember right. That is beautiful and very kind. Thank you, Junior.
Nice work.
Smart thinking. As Derek chuckled, Jorge shook his head. I got lucky. You can go. Okay, first, Mr. Holden, this is for you. It was the card you'd seen get that morning. Derek passed it over, and the man it was always meant for. To the man it was always meant for. Wow, another gift. That's a thoughtful family.
It's nice.
You guys are nice to think of my dad. Derek read his freshly freed hand through his short hair. He had a lovely smile on his face. It's no problem, bro. I also got lucky. And this is for you, Dad. Derek brought over the sleek package and held it up for the taking. Mr. Suarez plucked it up gladly. He tucked the bouquet under one elbow while pulling it off the top of his new present. A tie! I will use this often. Thank you, Derek.
You're welcome.
Mrs. Suarez rubbed Derek's back, watching her husband admire the accessory. That will look great on the new shirt I got him. She winked knowingly and headed off the questions the statement might bring. I let him open that one earlier, so he didn't have to wait all day before presents had happened. No wonder he'd been so well behaved. He'd been preemptively mollified. Mr. Suarez whistled innocently, shuffling around the tie in the box. I love the way they treat him. Mr. Suarez is the biggest teddy bear. I love Gregorio.
Thank you.
Again, my loving wife. He was fully basking in revelry. Meanwhile, his supportive partner took the initiative to bring out a couple vases for Jorge's flowers. They looked even better fully spread out between the glasses. My turn. I've got something for you, Mr. Suarez, and you too, Mr. Holden. What? I thought we started calling him Cliff at some point. I feel like they would have started calling him Cliff at one point, but I guess this is what I picked before? I don't know. Hooray! Marina, you didn't have to do that. I wanted to. Exactly. Do not reject such generosity, Cliff. Right, you're right. I'm glad you did. Chuckling at the childlike joy of one father and the schoolboy shyness of the other, you lifted the gift bags from earlier that day. The one for Mr. Suarez went over toward him, and the same for Mr. Holden. They both accepted the proper presents from your hands. After sharing excited glances at each other, the dads of the day opened the gifts at the same time. You'd gotten a pricier option for a Father's Day gift. If you had gotten a pricier option for a Father's Day gift, it might have been too much. But you didn't have to worry much thanks to the pleased smile that remained on Mr. Suarez's face. I feel like the tie Derek got was probably the most expensive thing. I don't know, flowers are pretty expensive too. I think the tie is probably more expensive than the meat and cheese platter in the pack of cards though, really. Delectable. You'd gone for a standard, straightforward Father's Day present. It was received nicely. Oh, I'm gonna enjoy this. I could use a fresh pack. Thanks very much. Yeah, we're gonna play with those cards, Cliff. That was the whole reason they got them for you. And there was one other person in the room who responded with encouragement. Derek snuck you 2 thumbs up when no one was looking at him, 1 for each of the gifts. You're very welcome. Glad you like it. As usual, the last person to take the stage was Nicholas, with a wide sweeping of his arms.
My gift is my wonderful presence.
I love that that was voice acted. God bless you, Nicholas.
Of course.
And it is wonderful indeed. I mean, he's also like 17. It doesn't probably have a job. Well, clearly doesn't have a job. It was no joke. Mr. Suarez looked upon Nico warmly. The temptation to baby the baby of the family was too strong. From the sidelines, the 3 other members of the family exchanged shrugs and wry smiles. Hey, that's better than me. I'm not even really present. It's more than enough, bud. His father's absolute assurance brought a tenderness to Cove's voice.
Thanks.
The Suarez family did dote on Nico, but all of them combined didn't beat the spoiling that Cove Holden got as the light of Mr. Holden's life. It's true. Holden and son. At the highest point of excitement with the gift giving, the casual get-together wound down even more. You and the trio of brothers were flanked around Mr. Holden's phone like a team huddle. Each person leaned in against the counter, resting on their arms, but turns were taken on whose face was stretched out at the center of the circle and closest to the phone. The actual conversation mostly consisted of contributions from you, Derek, and Cove. The 2 younger bros were focused on listening, trying to catch new bits and pieces about the person on the other end of the line. It was a friend of Derek's who they rarely had direct interactions with. In their mind, the green-haired man named Cove was an enigma. Reminiscing with your pals in front of an audience was an interesting experience, but that only counted for the children in the room. The parents were busy with their own activities. Mrs. Suarez had reclaimed her comfortable spot on the couch. There was a book in her hands. Her second gift of the day was not behaving like her kids and giving Mr. Suarez space to talk to his friend without scrutinization. The pair of fathers sat together at the dinner table. This is really charming. I mean, everything in this game is always really charming, but I love this. It was close enough to your group that occasionally a word or phrase cheerily bellowed in the background, penetrated in the line and pushed your awareness. Finally, something I can kind of rant about for a minute. I always loved family gatherings like this. Like, whatever reason you have, right? People do this. They form little groups. But it's just so nice to get together with your whole family and have these little get-togethers, even if it's something small like this. It's just the fact that you're present with these people. And that's what this feels like. It's the family that I haven't seen in a long time. Mr. Suarez and Mr. Holden were shooting the breeze about life, love, and work, as far as you could tell from the vague, half-considered idea you had about it. Huh, I wonder what Cliff says about love. I always felt like it was interesting, but yours perked when the name was clearly and intentionally called. I feel like Cliff needs to be, looking... Oh no, I think Cliff determined that he wasn't going to, look for more romance. That's right, he's got an interesting sexual identity. Derek? Derek's head lifted over the crowd, pushing upward his hands against his tabletop. Oh boy, this could be exciting. This is what I think it's going to be. This could be exciting. He made the same motion, finding the interruption as attention-getting as your own name would have been. A grinning Mr. Suarez was the sight that greeted you. He was scheming something, that much was obvious. Derek the gears were working in his head the way he was being summoned, and just him. No answer looked to come to his eyes. Realizing he was keeping his expected father waiting, he dropped back down to almost level with the phone. I gotta go for a second, Cove. Talk to the bros. Tell them about Nevada. They've never been. Okay. Is that where Cove is? Marino is farther away than that, but... Nevada? Derek slipped past his little siblings. The 2 waved him off without looking away from the screen. He took wide strides to answer the invitation. You remained slouched against the counter edge, your back turned on the table, but your focus on outside stimulation had flipped. It was the conversation happening at the table that you were conscious of. The words bubbling from the phone faded far in the backdrop.
What's up?
Cove is the second banana in this story. This is about Derek. We have a lunch event tomorrow. Right, I remember something like that was happening soon. It's not your party, you're invited just to show up. How good that you know so much already. You see, Mr. Holden does not prefer to attend such networking gatherings.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. Mr. Holden's voice rang out completely unapologetically. If you were watching, you'd bet he was shrugging his arms exaggeratedly. The only worse parties than those are funerals. That's why I need my very professional business partner, Gregorio. Both of the Suarezes chuckled at Mr. Holden's frankness. Hearing just the sound of it made you realize how similar Derek's laugh was to his dad. It was so much deeper than it used to be. Yes, usually it's given that I would be the one to attend, although there is now another option. I could have my responsible son attend as a representative. Oh, that's how they're gonna do it. Okay, so I knew we were gonna end up going back to we have to go back to the golf club too, right? At some point to recount memories of the time we went to the soiree together. Yeah, the Cypress, that's what it's called. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to the Cypress on Gregorio's behalf as Derek's date. You didn't have to peek over your shoulder to see the amazed expression on Derek's face. You could picture it perfectly. There's an idea. I'm on board. It suddenly felt like it was Derek's birthday rather than Father's Day. You can still remember when Derek helping his dad with his business as equal as far off from the It's just a far off imagination, a fanciful thought for someday, and now you were present when it became a reality. It had sent Derek off into the clouds temporarily, but it wasn't a dream or a joke. It was an actual situation he was present in. Derek gathered his thoughts and gave a grunted response. Sorry, I can't. I've got plans tomorrow. That's understandable. Derek Suarez is in demand by all who know him.
Aww.
Not by everyone. Derek snickered shyly, and it seemed the exchange was already reaching a conclusion. You knew what that superseding plan of Derek's was, going to the water park with you. You were so looking forward to it. He passed on helping his dad to hang out with you. It made you happy. You weren't sure what to think about that situation. You got Derek's attention to talk. Uh-huh. Yeah, actually, this third one, because, like, Marina would just be like, what? What? Your dad has given you this freaking golden opportunity here, man. I'll be okay. The topic had come to involve you, even if it had been directly only at Derek. You turned toward the table directly. Derek, come here. While Derek's eyes went to you, Mr. Suarez, and Mr. Holden's gazes came right along with that. Jorge and Nicolas were still entirely uninvested in the goings-on around them. They were highly engaged in prompting and prodding Cove while they could. That one was positive. That was one positive. You held Derek's stare for a moment, then stepped away from the entire crowd. Well, 1 second, Dad. Take your time. The only free area in the living room was the opening of the side hall. You positioned yourself in the cusp of the narrow space. You could hear Derek's light jog coming from behind. He shifted himself in between you and the wall to face you. His voice hushed and his expression concerned.
What's up?
Is everything alright? Yes, but actually, I heard what you were talking about with your dad. Yes, but actually, I heard about what you were talking about with your dad. The thing keeping you busy is going to the water park with me. The minor eavesdropping gave Derek no pause. He merely tilted his head with pure and honest confusion. Yeah, of course, it's gonna be awesome. And even if we didn't already have those plans, I'm not gonna waste the time we got doing work. You're leaving so soon. Thanks, I feel the same way. Alright, you said reassured. I don't want to make you miss out on it. It wouldn't be a waste if it's something you want to do. Maybe I could go with you. Honestly, wouldn't mind going to a business lunch and we could both do it. I wonder if he's... Now, it's gonna be resolved right here. Derek will probably just be like, oh no, we gotta go to the water park or whatever. So they don't have to do too much of that, but too much different stuff. But I wonder... It'd be cool if it actually gave you a choice here, whether you go to the water park or you go to the luncheon. I'm actually gonna save it here, just in case. This seems like the kind of place where it could be pivotal. Because I'm gonna pick this. It wouldn't be a waste if it's something you want to do. Maybe I could go with you.
Really?
You mean that? Ever so slowly, Eric's eyebrows lifted on his forehead. His words were equally drawn out. We could, if you actually want to. He answered by default, but when it fully processed, Derek's relaxed demeanor returned. He could talk about it with his usual good humor. My dad wouldn't care, but are you sure a networking lunch is that high on your list of vacation activities? It wasn't before, but it is now. With a charming laugh and a grin, Derek embraced the new opportunity he presented him with. Alright, Marina, let's network. I mean, Marina doesn't really care about, like... Marina would want Derek to have the frickin' best opportunities he could for his career. And not just go play at some water park. They can do that anytime. I mean, Marina likes water parks and all that, but Together, you left the little hidey hole behind and rejoined the party. Derek went straight towards his father once more, and you went with him this time. With a stuffy, formal tone, Derek grandly gestured in your direction before addressing Mr. Suarez. Father, my own business partner of sorts, and I had a meeting and decided that we're willing to accept the offer and attend the luncheon as a team. Thank you for the consideration. Oh, wonderful! The funny effect Derek put on his dad did not cause Mr. Suarez to treat him or he was a joke. He was earnest in his reply.
Thank you.
Derek and Marina, it is kind of you to help. You have grown into such a talented and successful people. I can't keep up at this point. After years of hard work, Derek had earned so much praise from his dad, yet he didn't accept it with beaming pride or even downplay it with lighthearted humbleness. He simply rejected it. Hardly. Something had changed. He wasn't a small teenager who could only guess what it meant being an adult and believed what he was told. Derek had grown, and he'd lived experiences that words could be compared to. What he felt he'd done did not match it with what his father was describing. But you had to wonder why. There wasn't anyone who thought more deserving of the terms talented and successful. No good reason came to mind. Derek is always like this. He's always like, oh, I'm not so great. He's always been this way. It's the same old Derek, right? Despite Derek never looking more mature, Mr. Suarez smiled comfortingly like he did when his son was still young. The idea of Derek being like this, man, I get it. I love that they've done such a good job of writing this character as an adult. He's more complex than he was as a teenager, but he's also like the same. It's really good. It wasn't a gesture lost on Derek. He once again showed that he was not a child. It was Father's Day, not the moment to worry his dad. He winked, smirked, and managed to smooth over the minor bump. You're still way ahead of me. And that was the end of that. Later in the evening, a hearty homemade dinner was served as the final event of the occasion. A fruit platter had a place on the table as a side dish. It was thoroughly enjoyed. But eventually, Jorge stood up from his chair. He explained he needed to start heading back to his dorm. Mr. Holden had to agree. He had an even longer trip home ahead of him. He collected his phone and patiently allowed Cove to give a long, drawn-out goodbye before the device was finally put away. He kept his phone on for hours so Cove could be here. And Cove stuck around for those same hours on that phone call. Does his phone have any battery left? What? It only made sense for you and Derek to take your own leave too. The permanent occupants of the house, Nicolas, Mr. Suarez, and Mrs. Suarez, thanked everyone for coming. One last set of Father's Day well wishes were given, farewells were exchanged, and then it was time to go your separate ways. Derek pointedly pushed ahead and opened the door for Jorge, Mr. Holden, and you. He didn't move a muscle until you all passed. He'd won that round. His parents and the youngest brother stood by in the living room the entire time. Derek called over his shoulder with the last note of the day's gathering.
Talk to you later.
Have a hell of a day, everybody. Thanks for letting us be here. Then he followed you and shut the door behind him. As soon as you both climbed into the comfortable seats of Derek's car, he was ready for a new adventure. What's the plan now? We got what's left of the day to ourselves. Okay. Well, I think that was enough for one day then. What is the plan now? We'll find out next time. I hope you're enjoying this, and real quick though, before we quit, I'm gonna see what happens if we real quick, we're gonna see what happens if we say thanks. I feel the same way. Great, cool, Marvin, you can't ever fast enough. With a charming laugh in the grin, Derek cut himself off his own declaration in his ears.
Wait.
No, wait, tomorrow should never come. Then we can keep hanging out all the time. He giggled along with him. Your former reservations are miles away just like that. Yeah. He just accepts it. Huh. I'm not gonna keep going, but... yeah, apparently you can choose to do one of two things. I'm guessing we might not actually go to the event. We might just have this last bit of the day and that might be the end of it. But we'll find out next time if we get a short scene and end step 4. Or if it's gonna continue on into the next day with our adventures with Derek. We'll see you then. Take care.